Welcome to What's Up Poland. We have a special guest today, American-born but Polish girl Monica Zielinski is going to be telling us about a very sexy story indeed that is taking Netflix viewers by storm. Welcome to
What's Up Poland,
the daily video show
where
we talk about
news,
views,
culture,
history,
life.
everything Poland. Hello, Monica. How are you doing? You picked a rather racy topic for us, a comedy or a coming of life story, which is blowing viewers away on the internet. What's your story about?
Exactly. Thank you, Patty. So over May weekend, I know you guys saw the weather. It was crazy, raining all the time. So it was the perfect weekend to binge watch this comedy called Sexify. It's a Polish production and it's quite provocative and it's meant for a more mature audience. And I don't mean just the age because I also mean the content. It's about a girl who's very ambitious and she's studying programming at an IT school in Warsaw, and she has to come up with a project to finish up her year. And her original plan wasn't sexy enough, according to her like startup kind of mentor professor. And so she came up with the idea to optimize female pleasure. That's right, there's an app for everything, and she was determined to do it. The only problem is she has no experience at all. So she teams up with her two closest friends and they try to kind of develop this app to win this competition. And it's such a great story because it's full of humor. It talks about traditional kind of family values that are seen in Poland and not only. And as we saw, actually, this show was a big hit all over the world in kind of random exotic countries too, which was surprising, like India, Jamaica, Jordan, Lebanon. But also it made the top 10 list for Netflix shows in Italy, Czech Republic, and Slovakia. So it kind of shows a universal kind of theme about coming of age and just friendship, kind of owning your own life and body as well. So it's not just about the sex part, but also about just growing up and owning your own life.
I have noticed it's really interesting what you say about India, Monica, because like I've noticed on my podcast, The Debrief, which is Poland's
Here he
number
goes
one
again.
podcast. Yeah, I know I have to do it. I have to do it, but it's only because like I also look at my stats, and I see
It's
where my
true.
listeners are. I need to know where my listeners are and maybe kind of cater for that audience. And would you be surprised that in fact a lot of listeners are actually also in India? And it's really bizarre. I actually have more listeners in India than I do in America and the UK combined, pretty much. It's
That really is
amazing.
interesting.
Maybe we can get all
when you say India,
the
I'm not
Indian
surprised.
viewers. Maybe we can ask all the Indian viewers of What's Up Poland, because no doubt there are hordes of them as well. So if you can click below this story and write to us, tell us why you love Poland, maybe why you love this story. And you don't have to explain why you love the debrief. It's the most popular podcast about Poland, so of course you love it. I need to pick a bone here, Monica, if I may. Sorry, John, to just piggyback onto.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, she designs an app to optimize female. That sounds like something I need to download. So I'm just wondering what that app is called there, or if it's available on the.
Well, it is
TV
called
show, Patty.
Sexify. And basically, what the idea is, if you want to lose weight, for example, right, you type in your age, your current weight, your height, things like that, your activity styles, things about yourself. And then using that information and that data, and also data collected from lots of other women and their experiences, it kind of creates this formula for increasing that female's pleasure through a variety of activities or kind of exercises, positions too, I suppose. And a lot of people in the comments, actually, I've been reading on Twitter, which has been kind of blowing up about the show, is like, we need this app. This has to be created. Why isn't this a thing? And of all places, it's a Polish show, which I think is quite ironic.
Yeah, who would have thought it?
Yeah, and I did see some comments though, like someone who watched the show from abroad said, this show makes it seem like these people in Poland have never had sexual education or don't know anything about sex, but that seems to be the reality. So I think it's the perfect setting for a show like this. And the three characters I think are so universal because again, you have a virgin nerd, you have kind of a Tinder addict who's getting over her ex-boyfriend, and then you have a Catholic girl who's trying to explore her sexuality, but that comes with a lot of pressures from family and other, social aspects. So I think these kind of characters people can relate to on so many different levels. And I just wanted to quickly note that one thing that a lot of people loved about the show is actually the soundtrack, which was created by this guy Yimek, and I really actually enjoy listening to it.
Yeah.
It has and it has the kind of a retro feel of pole jazz with a modern sound, and there's dialogues from the show interwoven in the music, which is kind of cool. And it kind of gives it a euphoric, almost schizophrenic feel, but it's definitely worth listening to. And also, the show does give off a retro vibe, and you might think that it's kind of dated. It looks like it's taking place in communist Poland, but it's actually in this day and age. Kind of really interesting. The colors and the staging is really cool. So even for the visual aspect and the music, it's worth watching.
There you
Any
go, Patty.
questions?
I want to watch it now. You've sold me this program, Monica. I have to admit,
binge it, so it's definitely binge worthy.
I think I'm getting to the point now where I definitely feel like, as a slightly older man, that I'm just waiting for the moment when my kids are embarrassed to watch things with me. And this looks like it could be one of those first
One of
programs.
those, yeah.
Yeah. Watch at your own discretion, I guess.
That is good advice, Monica. Well, thank you very much for that. So if you've whetted your appetite for the WhatsApp wick, you've blooded yourself, as it were, to use a fox hunting metaphor, with your first ever story for WhatsApp Poland. But if you're looking, ladies and gentlemen, for many more stories, possibly not featuring Monica, just put a hand over the screen where she is. Just imagine me and John talking to each other. It's more of that.
No, I like Monica being on the show. I think she should become a regular.
I'm a little bit concerned that she's doing too good a job. So just enough.
You need some female balance over here.
I was going to say.
Bro group over here.
Exactly. I mean, you got two bearded white dudes. I mean, like, come on.
I find that if I squint at John, then I can imagine, with a bit of vivid imagination, I can imagine the gender balance is
very
okay
vivid.
between the two of us.
Very squint.
It is a bit of a squint.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Don't
thank you very
wanna
much,
know.
Monica, and subscribe to What's Up Poland, and we'll see you again for another episode, I hope.
What's up, Poland?